How's it going, Admiral Army? It's your boy Addy here, and today, after months of refusing to convene, refusing to show up in Washington, D.C. by many of these Democratic representatives because of health concerns, Democrats shockingly allow a representative to vote after testing positive for COVID-19 just a week earlier. Yes, after all this talk from the high and mighties about how this disease is so dangerous that we can't do anything, we can't have any liberties, they make such a judgment call as this, something that once more tears away at the fabric of the facade that they've put in place. And you're starting to see the facade be stripped away by many, many people. They're finally seeing behind the glass with open eyes. A good example of that was if you guys saw New York Mayor Bill de Blasio dancing in Times Square with his wife as it was a ghost town. I'm sure he had a great romantic night all alone. You had an anchor from CNN stating, "Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to see to start off my New Year's. De Blasio, get it together. Your city's in ruins." That is exactly what these people are finally beginning to realize, as they've been the lapdogs for these Democrats for so long, waiting for the breadcrumbs of power to be trickled down before them. But, like the puppet they are, they will soon find that they'll never get to be the real boy they had hoped to be. Instead, the Democrats will use you as what is dubbed in the business a useful idiot and throw you to the side, and this clearly shows it. I mean, this person had, as I said, tested positive for COVID-19 just 7 days earlier and had somehow gotten approved. She doesn't have to go through the same mandates as us because she's important. Remember that. We're not important. Our lives don't matter, but also stay locked down so you don't kill everyone else. Which one is it? Which one is the decree to follow? And their statements on this, of course, are that we followed CDC guidelines. Everything was fine. She got approved to travel, which I would like to know. How do we get that approval? How do we rabble down at the bottom get that approval to travel so early? So Representative Gwen Moore is her name, and this is the statement she tells reporters. Moore told reporters at the Capitol, "I didn't get a negative test. No, I did not, because I got the CDC quarantine time frame." So not only did she not get tested before being approved for travel the second time around, she tested positive originally. She says it's because she met the CDC quarantine time frame that she was allowed to leave. The new 7-day time frame, if you guys haven't known that. And that still doesn't fall under the jurisdiction, that doesn't fall under the guidelines that are provided. I looked into it, and it states right here, when diagnostic testing resources are sufficient and available, then quarantine can end after day 7 if a diagnostic specimen tests negative and if no symptoms were reported during daily monitoring. So right there in and of itself, the hypocrisy is blown wide open. It says you need a negative test right there in their guidelines. And this lady admits that she never had a negative test. So tell me then, how is this okay to happen? This was once more just a power grab by Nancy Pelosi as she saw her power fleeting. She realized so many people did not want to support her this time around that she needed everyone. And she even has pretty much alluded to that in the past when she said, it's time for Congress to get back to work. We need to lead by example here. Sorry. And show people how to get things done. We need to show that this vaccine is working by convening specifically to reelect me. But in the past, no, we can't get together on the COVID-19 relief bill that all the Americans want. We just need this specifically to happen. I need you there to vote for me. That's all she wanted. It's so crazy to me that people are not able to see this. And this is sort of the game being played by both sides, as I'm sure many of you see it. The goal for these representatives, as they're called, even though they don't represent anyone in America anymore, people love to think that they represent you. They don't. They represent their own self-interest and whatever will make you shut up and keep you appeased at the time. That's all that their goal is. That's why they throw in so many stupid things. That's why this omnibus was 5,500 pages long and no one read it. Because everyone wants their self-interest put in there and then something to keep you quiet too. You plebeian down at the bottom. They want you to stay quiet. They don't want you to uprise and stand out against this. I can tell you right now, I would stand up against Mitch McConnell, the spineless overlord that he is, and Nancy Pelosi any day of the week. They're the same type of person. Nancy Pelosi's essentially the Emperor Palpatine of the Congress, where she goes in and sucks the life force out of everyone in the room. That's her goal. She doesn't want to provide you with anything beneficial. She just wants to say this is for diversity and equality, and then she'll throw in something else that entirely benefits her self-interest. And that's what they all do. So many Republican ones do it too. They are all in on it. It's essentially a sham just to screw every single American out. There are some good representatives, obviously, but for the most point, you can see the swamp is deep. And I'm glad Trump, at the very least, exposed that to the American people. But there's a lot more exposing to be done. So don't forget to share this video, share this information. It is very important. YouTube sent me to the black hole. You can't find me in the algorithm likely, so share it. Share it with some friends. Let them know what Nancy Pelosi is doing here. It really means a lot to me. Consider subscribing, smashing the like button, and in the honor of helping out the minority and really standing up for the people, Nancy Pelosi actually proposed this really awesome set of rules for the House this year. So as we see here, Pelosi may strip all gender references from House of Representative rules. Yes, a round of applause for her. She's still fighting the good fight for us normal people out here. She wants to strip the House of Representatives rules from any gender identities, I guess, as you'd call them. Father, son, daughter, whatever you'd like to say. She wants to remove that from the House of Representatives for who knows what reason. I do. I mean, I can give you the reason right now. The reason's obviously that she just wants to pander to as many people as possible so that they'll say, wow, look at this bill. It's trying to fight gender identities and gender politics. Nancy's on our side. And then anyone who doesn't want to follow this, anyone who I assume this is voted on, votes no on this, they're instantly the fascist, racist who doesn't support gender equality and doesn't support people's rights to live how they want to. It's a clear pander, cut and dry. It's as big of a pander as you can imagine. And what people have pointed out about this that is still funny is on Nancy Pelosi's Twitter, it says right here, mother and grandmother. Yes, clearly she is against these gender identities. She's fighting the good fight. She sees everyone on a spectrum. No, this old Palpatine lady, she has no idea what you guys are talking about. She says these things to get people on board. And the CNN, like I said, the CNN anchor finally is starting to realize that is what is going on in our politics. They're not giving you the breadcrumbs of power. They're not fighting to help you, the normal citizen. They're fighting to enrich themselves. And long-term games that you guys can't see. 5,500-page omnibus. How much laundering of that money do you think was done? Who do you think actually got the gender studies in Pakistan money? Who knows? No one will ever find out, I assume. And that's politics in a nutshell for today. And I wanted to take a look at this bill too, because this is really interesting. She has some pretty odd sort of offices that she wants to be inducted into the House of Representatives. Ones that I'm not sure of their purpose, and I'm sure many people would question their purpose as well. I can't see what they could possibly provide beneficial to the House, but let's take a look here. So as we know, this is the famed gender identities bill. Fighting gender identities in the bill. But also there's some other stuff thrown in too. Just don't look behind the curtain. That's how it always is. The curtain is very thick for these people. This is what she wants to include here. Office of Diversity and Inclusion. So why does the House need an Office of Diversity and Inclusion? You would think, as anyone with a brain cell, that you would want someone to be the most qualified for the job. I don't care who it is. I don't care what they look like, who they are. If they are the ones responsible for bringing a great idea, something beneficial to society, I'm all for it. I'm all for anything like that. However, when you try and establish diversity, that's when their form of identity, let's do it this way. Their form of diversity is people with different skin colors who think the same thing. That is their diversity. It's not about diversity of opinion, something that should be actually sought after and looked at. It's about diversity in skin color. Anything they're trying to institute is skin color deep. And that's what the most racist part of it all is. I love that the other side is racist. The right side is racist when the right side is just a whole bunch of old people like wondering what everyone's talking about. What is this diversity and inclusion? That sounds good. That's all that it is. These people don't know any better. They hear these good words, these buzzwords, and think, I'm on board with that. I don't care what it does. I'm on board. No, that's not how it works. So the goal with this office here, if you're interested, is to direct and guide House employing offices to recruit, hire, train, develop, advance, promote, and retain a diverse workforce. So the House offices are supposed to, I assume, decide people who are supposed to work underneath the senators and the House of Representatives. I don't get that at all. So she's trying to implement this entire new force that is supposed to hand choose people who are within the House. Hand choose people who can support the House, and I'm sure get some inside information on the things going on around here. Not to, of course, give any sort of negative benefit of the doubt to this beautiful proposal, but I would assume that's what it's for, right? And that kind of backs the need for the second office that she has proposed here, the office of the whistleblower ombuds. So she wants a house of diversity and training where they can specifically choose people based on skin color, not the diversity of opinion, but skin color and ethnicity, to be the people below who are supporting, I assume, supporting like different attorneys or not different attorneys, but different unpaid interns for the for the House representatives, and also an office of the whistleblower ombuds. What? Why do we need these things magically this year? And this one's even weirder. This office is supposed to promulgate best practices for whistleblower intake for offices of the House. So she wants two specific things. One that would implant people who are more diverse, as they call it, into these offices of the House members, as well as one that tells the House members what the best practice would be for whistleblowers, people who bring to light a truth that the American people may not be ready for. This person's also supposed to provide training for offices of the House on whistleblower intake, including establishing an effective reporting system for whistleblowers, maintaining whistleblower confidentiality, advising staff of relevant law and policies, and protecting information provided by whistleblowers. So this sort of seems like it would protect whistleblowers in a way. I understand their identity needing to be confidential. That would make sense. But I would assume that would also protect the information that they're providing. And I wonder who gets to decide which information is worth deciphering. If it were something bad about the right side, do you assume that this whistleblower ombud would decide, yeah, we need to keep this confidential just like we did with that Democratic-sided whistleblower over there? Or do you think it would be used to specifically hide information that would be damning to one side while allowing one side's information to get out there? Which one do you think it would be? I have a good feeling I know which one it would be, but who knows? You know, we know that Nancy's all about what's right in the world. She's all about gender politics, gender identities, and also all these other things too that are just thrown in there. Don't pay attention to that though. It blows my mind every day that they have any support at all. Hopefully one day they won't. If you share and like this video, maybe we'll take that power away from them. I'll siphon it back from Emperor Palpatine. But that'll be it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.